Hello, everyone, or whoever's gonna watch this. I just had to, I just had to come live because we got old MGL over there firing up alive. I can tell she watched Unirocks live from last night or heard something about it because she may not call it out specifically, but it's obvious that she was listening or was told what was said. That's for sure. That is for sure. I just can't believe it. Let's see. Nobody important. I mean, girlfriend. Yeah, you're in a different frame of mind now, aren't you? You're in a good mood, want people to take the link, come in and talk to you. All right, guys. So, was that the post? Just got to find my Golightly with photograph pictures will be going out. I got about 25 and I have about 10 that I saved the address for. Come on now. She's something else. So, hey, Rambling Rom, how are you, doll? So I watched, I don't know, the last couple of nights it's ran together. But I have to say, I tried to show my husband a clip, the clip channel that got her and her sex channel, her sex channel calls, whatever. Uh, First of all, I don't care how her number got, whatever. I don't give a crap how her number got on there. Personally, she probably put it on there herself to try to, you know, get away from the attention of the all the other stuff that's coming down. But that is the most disrespectful and disgraceful thing you can do, not only to your husband, to your marriage, but to your son and to the two um, kids that are the foreign exchange students that are living there in the house with you. I mean, golly. And then you ask one of them if they think you're sexy. Come on, Marissa, MGL. Hey, Miss Carla. Hey, Gail. Hey, money moves. Money, 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 money. Yeah, that's what MGL's been rolling in the money. But yeah, I just couldn't believe. Like, did you guys see that? Did y'all see where she was talking to those gentlemen on that call, those that on that porn line or whatever it was? I was trying to show my husband a clip last night, and he's like, I don't want to finish watching that. And I said, no, you've got to watch it to the end. It's not but like 2 minutes. I said, you've got to watch it to the end. I made him watch it, and he's like, what is wrong with her? He said, she is like, he said, she's really different. I said, I know she is. If you go back and watch her videos when she first started covering the Chris Watts case. Now, listen, I think she probably is who she is now, who she was then, but she had more coof about her, at least in the beginning. I think that the fame of this channel or whatever has gone to her head. She's let it go to her head, her popularity or whatever has gone to her head because hey, Nanya Biz, Stoner Girl, it's raining here. It's been raining ever since I got up this morning, and so Stoner Day sounds like a good day to me myself. But yeah, I mean, she's so different than how she used to be. She used to actually, put makeup on and was dressed decent and had some class about her and talked about things that were interesting and fun. It's just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand how she can, well, I'm going to tell you, she reminds me of how MFW's channel reminded me. She really and truthfully is kind of like, it's like the wheels are off. The wheels are off. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. Hers are going round and round and they're flying off. Even Jake's car wheels is coming off. I mean, okay, so the fact that, okay, she says, I don't want anything in my name because I live in Hershey. I don't want to live in Pennsylvania. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. And listen, you were telling that Michelle lady, which I think she handed you your ass on a silver platter again the other night when you let her up there. And shame on you that you could not sit there and listen. You caused the woman to lose her job, Marissa. You caused her to lose her job. You lied about her. She sat there and explained everything. She looked like the life coach, and you look like the one with the mental problems. And listen, I'm going to throw this in here. If you are a life coach, like you say you are, and you really think what you say about that woman is true, that you think she's unhinged and she's got some mental problems, do you really think it's very smart or professional to go at her like you do and to say the damn things you do? I wouldn't do that to somebody, and I'm not a life coach. I'm just a human being with morals and a conscience, and I wouldn't treat someone like that, much less run around and claim I'm the best life coach, the greatest life coach, and yada, yada, yada. I wouldn't. I mean, you really are unhinged yourself. But she sat there and explained all of her crap. How could you sit there and be so pompous whenever she's sitting there explaining herself to you? All she wanted to do from the get-go was just explain herself to you. But you were so caught up in all your other bullshit, covering your ass. You're like a cat covering shit, that you didn't, you just immediately dismissed her and talked down to her like you do everybody whenever you don't want to hear what they've got to say. You're so rude. I mean, you really should watch your panels back sometimes and see how you come across. You were so damn rude. I don't get the endless followers that you have. I don't get it. Yeah, you can be funny, but I'm going to tell you something. Your damn ugliness outweighs your funny tenfold. I mean, you're not as funny as you are rude. I mean, and you think it's I don't see how Justice for All, Justin, I don't see how he can sit up there and co-sign that shit. I don't see. I mean, because dude, it's making you look bad. I'm just saying, especially when she's on a porn line, listen to some man tell her that he wants to jack off. Well, all the crap that he was saying. But Michelle had her shit together, and she knew quite a bit. And I don't blame her for finding out what she could on you. But whenever you called Adrian to try to, hey, Love Rewinded, hey, Crazy Gemini, when you called your husband because she was talking about you and telling you that stuff, do you know how stupid you look? MGL, just look, you got yourself in this. You started that crap with that lady. Sit there like a big girl and handle it. Pull your big girl panties up, and I'm sure they're getting big these days, lady. Pull them up, girl, and deal with your own crap. Why do you call your husband? And first of all, he doesn't owe Michelle any kind of excuse. He doesn't owe her nothing. He didn't get in this. You did. And he's already told you he's tired of the crap. You look like a fool. And do you really think that he's going to volunteer information? I'm going to tell you, she sounded pretty darn convincing that he might have took somebody else on that trip. And I swear, I thought from across all those miles, I saw a little concern in your eyes when she was telling you that he wasn't by himself. Just saying. I don't know. But, I'm not going to talk about your marriage, whether you're happy or you're not happy. I just know that how my marriage is. And my husband trusts me and I trust him. But there is no way in the world I would try to involve if I got myself tangled up in something like you got yourself tangled up in. There's no way I would involve him or try to get him to reassure the other person that that's not true. She's already proved that you don't know what's going on in your own home. I would think as a life coach, Marissa, that you would give, if you had a woman call you up and need some life coaching or whatever. Personally, I think the advice you would give someone that was in your shoes would not be what you're sitting there doing. I mean, it's stupid not to have things in your name. It's stupid. I don't care if you want to live in Pennsylvania or not. It's stupid. Yeah, you're supposedly working, doing life coaching. I mean, let's just be real. I haven't seen you have to take calls for life coaching sessions hardly any lately. So you're living off of your Patreon and your memberships. So, and I'm sure you're making very good money doing it. Hey, Lanky Tor, good morning, sweetie. Hey, Alexis. And girl, live off of it. But if that's what I was counting on to live on, I would be treating people a little bit better and start being a better person than what you're being. I don't see how you have over 100 Patreon, if that's true. I don't know if somebody said you had over 100. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't see how you do. I don't get it. But anyway, the advice you would give someone, I think, would be, you need to make sure that things are in your name also. You sit there and look like an idiot. And if I was in the situation and I did need you for a life coach, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I would want you to tell me. You need to be having things in your name. You need to protect yourself. You're unprotected all the way around. The only thing you have in your name is the car that you pay for cash for Jake. So all 3 houses, and how embarrassing that you didn't know that he had refinanced them. How embarrassing. I mean, y'all need to spend some time together, do some talking. He made you, that Michelle made you look like an idiot. Girl, you had fried egg and scrambled egg all over you. I was embarrassed for you. But apparently, you don't you don't think that you need that. I guess you think that you're above, any kind of advice you would hopefully give someone that would tell them, you have a home, you need to have it in your name, yada, yada, yada. But, there could be circumstances that are beyond your control that your name can't be on anything. I don't know. But I just know I haven't saw you taking any sessions lately. And I've seen you be real rude and ugly to so many people because you don't like what they're saying in chat. This coming from somebody that says, oh, if you have another opinion, I like hearing it. Girl, you are so full of shit. You do not like hearing it. You don't want, if they're not blowing smoke up your butt and blowing it the color you want and the way you want, you don't want to hear it. And if you don't get rid of them, your mods do. They're Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot. I'm just disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you as a former friend. I'm disappointed in you as a woman. I'm disappointed in you as a creator. You bring so much disgust and just unneeded drama to all these cases that you're handling. Marissa, you look like a fool up there saying that you don't ask no questions. Let me tell you something. Do you not remember what you did and what you said whenever you were going after Diane? It was all about transparency. But yet you're going to sit up there and you're going to say that you don't care if she gets a facial, pays her light bill. You don't care. The money's theirs. And then when people start wanting don't blame it on Katie, because eventually people they're going to find out about their past, the parents' past. And I mean, the fact that the father, I remember seeing you sit up there on panel saying that the father was going to call in at 5:00 when he got off work. And knowing the whole time, Marissa, knowing the man was like incarcerated and wasn't able to, that he wasn't at a job. Knowing all that stuff behind the scenes, but you didn't want to put that out there because you knew people wouldn't donate. I don't understand. That is shady. That's wrong. So when you're sitting up there right now on your panel, you're doing right now, talking about you're in the clear and you haven't done anything wrong, I beg to differ. Lying to people and making people think it's one way when it's actually another way and you are aware of it, is illegal. It's wrong. So keep telling yourself you're good. Keep telling yourself you're good, because all these receipts can't be wrong. You can't sit up there and y'all would do it every dang night, take turns, because y'all wanted to spread the love equally between you and Justin. I think LB figured out that she was in over her head and she hit the woods, and she's smart for it. But yeah, y'all were wanting to, and look, I'm not knocking you for making money, Marissa. for up there. If you get super chats, I'm not knocking you. It's not, if you're a creator and you go up there and do the work, I think you should get paid but the way you were doing it, staying up there hours on end and running this man's wife down the tubes. I mean, criticizing her, being ugly, sending people to her house. And if you didn't do it, you had your little goons doing it. You can't do that, Marissa. That's against terms of service. And look, think about it. Every case you've been involved in, you've been in trouble. You got in trouble in Florida a couple times. You got in trouble for going up on the laundry's property when you already knew. You lied and said, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Bagged your eyelashes and put your tits out. Put your tits out. You said you didn't know you couldn't do that. Yeah, you did. You damn sure did. They told you the day before you couldn't do that. But anyway, you got in trouble then. You had to give the officer your driver's license down there. They gave you a slap on the hand. A couple times I think you got talked to. Then you go to Tennessee and you get in trouble up there. You go onto the property of where Don's working and beat on the garage and the door, and you had no rights, and it was against the law for you to go do that. You knew that. You knew that. And the reason I know you know that is because Blowhorn Betty and JLR knew that you couldn't do it, and they were with you. But you were going to act, oh, I didn't know it. So you did that, got in trouble with the police for that. Plus, you had charges pressed on you for filming that woman's daughter in the church. I mean, there's several things you did. I mean, you think you would either learn from your mistakes or you need to quit doing what you're doing, because obviously you think rules don't apply to you. I mean, you're sitting up there on your panel right now talking about how you have not done anything wrong and you're in the free and clear. Bullshit, Marissa. You have made a spectacle out of yourself and out of these cases. You want to help people? Go to the darn homeless shelter. Go to the food bank. That's the kind of help you can do without getting yourself in trouble. There's lots of things you can do to help people. But what you're doing on these cases are not help. You're not helping people. You're making yourself and anybody that rides with you, Justice for All, look like an idiot. You are a hot mess rolling through the town. Big Juicy, here comes Big Juicy. Woo-hoo. Hey, Susie. Hey, Carlos. Yeah, I'm on another one today. It ain't tacos today. It's MGL. I just listened to her last night, her little clip. Did you guys happen to hear that clip where she was the other night where she was acting like she was from Russia and letting the man I don't know what he said. Ever so many. I couldn't believe I was watching it. I could not believe she was doing it. Let's listen to it. Let me pull it up here and I'll play it for you guys. And she told her husband also, I guess, she told her husband about what she was doing, but she kind of gave him the clean version. I don't think he knew she was doing like she was what she was doing. And I don't care how her number got on there. If she give it to him, somebody else did it. She didn't have to call him and freaking talk to him and while they were like getting off in crap. I mean, come on. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to pull it up, you guys. Save the Drama. Okay, I'm glad you love MGL, Save the Drama. I used to love her, too. I know I was best friends with her. I was tattletelling a few weeks ago on her panel. I wasn't tattletelling Save the Drama. Let me tell you what I was doing. She was talking about Tiffers. Well, I had tried telling her about Tiffers when she was down in Florida at the laundries. So all I was calling in for and talking to her about that was to like reiterate and remind her that she already knew about Tiffers before. She wasn't just finding out about it. I had laid it out and told it to her. So I used to love her too, Save the Drama. But if you can consciously watch her and feel good about it, then go on over there and watch her, because I can't. It makes me sick to my stomach. She's not the person she used to be. And it makes me sick to hear her up there. I was riding a sidecar with her whenever she was going after Diane. I know what she did. And then I've sit up there and watched her say that she doesn't have to, people don't have to show receipts. People, they should, they don't, people are not deserving of transparency when she did everything she could to have Diane through under the jail. I mean, do you not see the hypocrisy there? Can you at least give me that? I'll drop a link if you want to come up and talk. Do you think that it's not a disgrace to her husband and her family, her son, her going up there and, hey, Mr. Positive, her going up there, pickle, going up there and, having sex talk with the strangers about their black cocks and stuff? Do you think that's okay? I don't. But if you do, girl, go on over there and watch it and stay there. I've got reasons to say what I say. You don't even know. She tried to, she lied on me. And if she had lied on you, I don't think that you would be too happy with it either. She lied on me and doesn't care. She doesn't know what it's like to be a friend. I can tell you that right now. Because I was a good friend to her. So, yeah, about him finishing. Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's embarrassing too. Even if I was married, wasn't married. Hey, Kathy Harmon, Susie, Mr. Pasta. Hey, Mr. P. I'm not gonna try not to say so many ugly words. Hey, Alicia, love you. Even if I was single, I sure as hell wouldn't go live and let people hear me talk to men like she was doing. And look, it wasn't just the words coming out of her mouth. It was the facial expressions she was making and putting her boobs out and all that. Come on, guys. You've got to, that was wrong. Sorry, it was wrong. I'm looking for that clip channel. Who was that up here? Save the Drama. Save the Drama. Would you like a link? Save the Drama. You want to come up here and tell me about myself? And then she does her late night thoughts, go up there and, yeah, little Boston, wonder what, yeah, what, right? Her late night thoughts, she goes up there and tries to sound, educated and professional. And she had just got through talking this guy through a song while he beat his meat. You know what I mean? Hey, misdemeanor, come on now. Come on. I was embarrassed for her. I couldn't believe she was doing it. Well, I think she's doing it for several reasons. It's a diversion and new content, Hey, Miss Barbara, how are you? Carla Ray. No shame, man. That's what I said. She asked one of the foreign exchange students if they were, if they thought she was sexy. Hey, Nana, I think that's it. I guess, she left. Okay. So, yeah.
Hi, this is Svetlana. I'm returning your call. This is Svetlana. I'm returning your call. Yeah, you hit me up last night, didn't you, baby? Yeah. What's your name? You want to get nut?
Wow.
I'll tell you what. I have a lot of experience with nuts because my mother, she told me slow for my whole life. So not only is my name Svetlana, but my sexy name is actually Svetlana. So you found the right girl. Do you like Russian women?
Calm Canary Melanie. Sucking on that big, wow. Like a nut.
You speak with a lot of detail. I like detail because I don't like to play guessing games. What are you doing at your home right now? You greasing that dick up?
Wow.
For slut mama? For slut mama?
For slut mama.
Really? Yeah. Because well, I can take my whole teeth out for you. It's a specialty. Because when I used to use the meth, I used to take meth and stuff. I lost all my teeth. So now I have in America they call them dentures. So I get to take it, and my mouth just loves the big black cup. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, her mouth loves the big black cock because she used to do meth and she has no teeth.
And my mouth just loves the big black cup. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me check the dick.
You like that?
Yeah, let me check on the dick.
I like you to jack off that dick. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Why don't you jack it? Yes. Like Michael Jackson jacket.
Yeah.
You like Michael Jackson?
I want you to tell me to check this dick.
I want you to tell me that you love Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I love my dick.
Yeah. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I'm eating it. Tell me to check the dick.
I really love your sexualities.
Huh?
I like your sexualities.
Yeah.
And I love that you have ways.
It is sickening, Carla Ray. It is.
I want you to tell me to check on this dick.
No, I want you to put on Michael Jackson. I want you to moonwalk.
Lanky Tori, can you hear it?
That would be very impressive.
I ain't got the song.
I'll play it for you. Hold on.
Yeah, she's a natural at it for sure, Susie. I don't know if you
because I love it too, and I might even
on Amazon. She's got that show that she supposedly was just acting, but or she's a hooker in Vegas.
You know, sing with me and beat that meat. Sing with me and beat the meat with me simultaneously.
Hear it too good, Mr. Positive.
Oh shit! You feel that beat?
Yeah, tell me to check this thing.
Take that thing.
Wow.
What? They told you don't you ever come around here. Don't want to see your face. You better disappear. There's fires in their eyes. Beat it. Just beat it. Do what you can. Macho man.
Tell me to check this dick.
Beat it. Wanna be bad? Beat it.
No, Barbara, I didn't.
Are you beating it now?
I didn't. I just was able to catch these clip channels, but
I want you to put that shit in check.
I couldn't even believe it when I watched the clip channel, this little clip. I couldn't believe it. And they said it went on like 18 calls or something.
You want to be a man? You want to stay tough and do what you can? So beat it.
And then she asked her, foreign exchange student if he thought she was sexy last time. What kind of crap is that?
Kim can beat you. Tell you it's bad. Beat it. Check that big old big dick. Beat it. Beat it.
Creative renewal.
Beat it.
Yeah.
Join hot jacket. Boys off jacket. This is not right. Who's wrong or right? Just beat it. Beat it.
And then, she's got 3 teenage boys living in the house.
You coming? Where you coming? You coming to the bakery?
I'm not. Can I call you back in 10 minutes?
Oh my God, y'all.
Word.
I cannot believe that.
Listen, did I not tell you were going to get some fucking entertainment tonight? Even if you hate me. Oh, shit. He hung up.
Get some entertainment tonight. Wow. No, I don't think, Ellabella, I don't think that, hey, British Shipping chiming in. I don't think that is allowed on YouTube. Listen, if I did something like that, you can promise me. I can promise you I probably would have my channel would be pulled the next morning. And she didn't just do it one night. She did it 2 nights in a row. And Justice for All, the one night that I started watching, I fell asleep. He was up there beside her, on panel for a good bit of it. I just am laughing. And then somebody last night, or I think it was last night, I got sent a clip where she told the guy that, he's sitting there talking to her about the same thing this guy was just doing. And she says, you've been busted. You're busted on Live with Molly Golightly on YouTube. So he comes over there to YouTube and ends up coming up on panel. And apparently people in chat was saying it looked like he was snorting coke. And she said that to him. And he said, oh, I am. And he reaches up and rubs his nose. Isn't that illegal? Yeah, she's acting like she's from Russia. She's I wouldn't say she's a good actress, but she's an actress. I wouldn't say she's a good one, but so I just like it's almost makes you for like being at a loss for words. that you can't even believe that she's doing that. I mean, and I don't know how that house is laid out or whatever, but she gets pretty loud. And my husband, if he, I wouldn't even want to imagine what he would do. He'd come walking in there and saw me or heard me on the phone acting like that. He'd probably send my divorce papers the next day, and I would deserve it. I mean, she is just, that's classless. That's classless, and that's trashy. And she has the nerve to talk about other people and act like she's better than everybody else. And people, she made the comment the other day, is there any difference between Tennessee and Louisiana? Really? Just in a negative tone, basically, putting down the South, and people that she thinks, I guess, are not up to her standards. Well, all I can say is my standards are just fine. I don't want to be on the standards she's on. My daddy would be so disappointed if he, and I like to think that he sees me and watches me from heaven. There's no way I could sit there and do that. I'd be, my daddy would be rolling over in his grave, because I was dang sure raised better than that and different than that. I would never do something like that. Sure as hell wouldn't do it online. Yeah, I think they're used to her too. It makes you wonder if Adrian's even in the house. I mean, honestly, Oh yeah, for her to say that she was proud of that the cops remember her and know her. She laid down on freaking, I think it was Bourbon Street. Alicia, are you still in here? Was it Bourbon Street that she laid down on? One of those streets. Yeah, was it Bourbon Street? One of those streets she plumb laid down on. And man, I'm gonna tell you something. People piss and defecate and everything else. And wow. I mean, I do think that they probably had something slipped in their drink. I do. I don't know though. I've never seen her on to kill you is what I call it. But Bourbon Street, okay. But it doesn't matter. What she was on, she didn't have to act like an idiot like that, but maybe she did. But Michelle pretty much, Lynn Levin Light, hey, she pretty much laid it out for her last night. I thought that she didn't take the money. I thought that was all a big misunderstanding. But after the way Michelle explained it last night, sounds like she did take the money and had the Tiffany lady put it in her bra. So I don't know. I was a little confused on that, but everything else, I think that Michelle was she was a hell of a lot more spot on than what MGL was. I mean, MGL was trying to have her, putting her in different locations. And I mean, the lady laid it out, lost her job. And I thought for a minute when I was sitting there watching it and she was telling MGL about her, what happened about her getting the drinking after her son had died and being wanting to commit suicide after her son had died, whatever the circumstances were. They were understandable feelings that most people, the majority of people would have after going through something like that. And MGL sitting there and she's looking down. And I thought for a minute that she was actually realizing that she was wrong and was going to maybe acknowledge that. But I was wrong. I was so hoping that she was going to, raise her head up and apologize. But she didn't. She just kept doing what she does best, deflecting. Anytime there was a hard answer to give or a point blank question to answer, she would deflect and kept turning around and telling her how bad off she was, what a sick person she was, that she's obsessed with Marissa. If she had just listened to Marissa, if Marissa had just given that lady the time of day and listened to her, all she wanted to do was explain herself. Oh, are the trolls coming in here? Oh yeah. What Alicia had her Vainglory Melons. Love that name. That name. Yeah. I think Alicia figured out who her troll was the other day, didn't you, Alicia? Have you heard anything from that? Oh, Cash Gurn Justice Family. Sadly, I was still affiliated now. I wasn't doing any of the, I wasn't with her and Tiffany. That was they handled that. I was just a Patreon and a friend, but I didn't do any of the legwork. I didn't have any part of that. I just sit back and watched it. I actually, you know, they'll say in guilt by association. I actually I was able to obtain a lot of haters around that time because I was friends with her. Whenever she did the posted the picture of the casket and stuff, I would go, you know, I didn't have anything to do with it, but I would be in somebody else's chat and I would start getting like just chewed up and spit out over her doing that. And, you know, I had no control. She didn't talk to me about it before she did it. So yeah, unfortunately, that's when she really become friends with Tiffany. They weren't friends prior to the Cash Gurning, and they become friends. They bonded over that. And so when that started happening, she started kind of pulling away from me and vice versa, you know. So when we really started falling out, I guess, was when Tiffany did that to Q Carlock, John Q, and Scott H over the money they raised for the Summer Wells case. And her and Tiffany and AB went after them and did all the crap that they did. And I watched it unfold, and they were wrong for doing them like that. Those people weren't doing anything but trying to help find that little girl. So I called Marissa and I said, look, I can't, I'm done with Tiffany. Want to have nothing else to do with her. And then I found out, and I told her all about what was going on. She was down at the laundry. So she knew. So whenever all this crap come up with Tiffany not long ago about the check, her writing the check and not really writing the check or whatever, she knew all that crap. I told her all about it. So she's up there acting stupid that she just discovering all that crap. No, that's whenever, you know, and then the nail in the coffin for me was this. I haven't said this on a live, I don't think, to a whole lot of people, but one of the first arguments that we got into were she and I both were mods for Mallory, the House of Williams, Mallory at Random. And Marissa had been down to Florida, beating, you know, and on the laundries, and Mallory went live. And I was doing some painting and I was just listening. I wasn't watching my chat, but I was listening. And Mallory was talking about how funny it was that Marissa was, you know, all the homes, because that's where she lives, are made out of cinder blocks and you know, wire, you know. So there's no way that they could hear her out there hollering and all that. And how funny it was that she was basically wasting her breath because of how the homes are built up there. And, you know, I didn't think that she said anything that I thought was funny. I mean, Mallory was just being Mallory. She was Mallorizing the story. And all of a sudden I hear Mallory say, girl, I'm not thirsty as fuck. And I thought, I rolled over to my chair and I looked at my phone, and Marissa was in chat going at Mallory, telling her that she was thirsty as F. And I started typing in chat, stop that. I said, you know, y'all are friends. Stop that. Don't say stuff. Well, Mallory went back at her. Well, then all of a sudden Marissa starts timing out people because she's got a wrench. And I said, Marissa, stop. And I wrote in bold print, stop. And so Mallory had to take her wrench because she was mod. So she called me while I was still on the live, but she called me and I answered my phone. And this is just what I said when I answered the phone. I said, what the hell is going on? She said, how dare you? I said, you take up for her whenever I said, she wasn't saying anything bad about you, Marissa. Yes, she fucking was. Yes, she was. So then she says this. she said, I want to ask you something. And before you answer me, you may want to think about your answer or some shit like that. And I said, what? She said, before you when you joined my Patreon, had you tried to hire me for a life coach? And I said, no, because I've never tried to hire a life coach, period. And she said, think about your, don't answer so quick. Think about your answer before you answer me. I said, I don't have to think about it. I know what I have done and what I haven't done. I have never tried to hire a life coach. And if I was going to hire one, Marissa, I wouldn't hire a Yankee. I'm a girl from the South. I want somebody that's going to understand my lingo. You know, I mean, I sure as hell wouldn't think about, I mean, and plus, why I didn't say this to her because, quite frankly, I was so caught off guard. She says, well, hold on a second. I'm going to send you something. So she sends me a screenshot of her email, of an email in her email from the mailer demon, from where something didn't go through that she had emailed. It come back as a mailer demon, and it had my my name, not my screen name, but my name. And it had client number 9 something ... and then it had my name. And so she said, so before she sent me that, she said, so you've never went through any of my life coaching apps and tried to hire me for a life coach. I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about, apps. And I didn't at the time, had no idea what she was talking about. Had never even heard of a life coaching app. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So then she sends me the screenshot, and it was, and also, let me interject this. This is coming from somebody that says she don't keep things. She deletes everything. So she sends me that, and I look at it, and I said, well, you know, I don't know why it would have my name. I don't know why you were getting that, Marissa, because I can guarantee you, I'm not the only that name in the United States. But it wasn't me. She said, what are the chances? I said, I get that I understand it's strange looking, but I am telling you, I have no reason to lie to you. If I did do it, I would tell you I did it, but I didn't do it. And I don't appreciate you insinuating that I'm lying. She said, you are. And I said, no, the fuck I'm not. I mean, when she called me a liar, well, I have figured out what that was all about. I never tried to hire a life coach in my life. But Marissa advertises that if you join her Patreon, that you get a half hour a month free. So I did some digging and come to find out there was a couple of different companies that Marissa was going through, apps that they would send her like calls. She could accept them or accept them or refuse them or whatever. I don't know how they worked, but the name that she had typed in there was a name that I had not. I mean, it was okay. I have a short name and then a long name. You know what I mean? Most people, I go by my short name. But this was the long name, the one that this was like what's on my driver's license, you know, and I don't use that in my everyday life. So it just stumped me how it said, well, I'll tell you, it said Betty . Well, that's not my whole name, but that's all it said was Betty and my last name. And I said, well, I don't use those names. That's not on anything of mine. I have another name attached to the Betty. So I'm going to tell you what I think happened. And I have no way to prove it, but I know what I know. And I know that I have never tried to hire her for a life coach. And I had no reason to, because I was supposed to get a free hour anyway, half hour a month anyway, if I wanted, which I never took her up on it. She found me on Facebook, sent me a friend request, not me sending her one. I think that because she felt like she was giving her Patreons free service. I think she was taking our names, because you have to sign in, you know, on your card and stuff. When you sign up with the Patreon app, you have to put your information in there. So I think she was taking that, and I think she was billing through that app, that life coaching, to get reimbursed for the free 30 minutes that she was supposedly giving us in Patreons. I'm telling you, I know that's what she was doing. I just have no way of proving it. I don't know the company. I still have the screenshot of where she sent me, but what I can tell you guys is this: I have no reason to lie. I don't lie. I have never even thought about hiring a life coach. Never have I thought about hiring a life coach. If I ever have anybody I need to talk to, I go talk to my pastor or my girlfriends. And I have went to marriage counseling therapy before, but never have I felt like I needed somebody to coach me through life. I have stood in my own shit when it stunk to high heaven. That was my life coaching. I did my own life coaching. I stood in my own shit to know that I didn't ever want to make those mistakes again. I am who I am today because of my past, and I learned from my mistakes. So had never thought about hiring a life coach. So, and I know what she sent me, and there was no way in the world I would have, if I had, would I put that name to start with. That's not what I use. And that's the name she would have had from the Patreon app, because that's how it was on my card, my credit card. So, so that was it. That was it. Whenever and when she called me a liar and we hung up on each other, it was a month or so before, she sent me a message one day, kind of like, never apologized, never addressed it. And I let it go. I mean, it wasn't completely gone. It was still in my crawl. You can guarantee that. But then it wasn't very long after that, she calls me up and gets mad because I was talking to Mr. Positive, and John Crimes is one of his lives in chat. Somebody screenshot it and sent it to her. And she calls me up and asked me if I had been in his chat. And I said, yeah. And I said, I normally have to catch him on the replay, but I actually called him on a live. And she starts screaming at me. Why would you go in his chat after the way he has talked about Tiffany? Why would you do that? I said, Marissa, he wasn't talking about Tiffany the day I was in there. And nobody's going to tell me where I can go and where I can't go. Nobody. My husband don't tell me where to go and where I can't go. And you sure as hell ain't. So the call dropped. She sent me a screenshot and she said, I guess I should have listened when people warned me about you. And I thought, you know what, bitch, go on with it. So, I mean, and just little things after that. So, but what really did it was her calling me a liar and trying to accuse me of being a liar whenever I told her I had never done that. I mean, I have no reason to lie. And it's what's so funny is this is coming from somebody that don't keep nothing, but this was almost 4 years from, it was, oh gosh, it was, I can't remember what year it was, but it was almost 4 years. That email was that old that she sent me. That screenshot she sent me was almost 4 years old from her email. So that's how long it had been. And she just now going to throw that up and confront me with something like that. Bitch, you've been billing those companies all that time. You forgot that you did that is what it was. She forgot that she billed them. She forgot about it. And I guess when she I don't know how it comes back to her attention or whatever. Maybe she's been sitting on it. I don't know and don't give a shit. But I just know what the truth is. And I know as shady as she's been, I'm pretty sure what I think happened is what happened as far as her trying, her billing the apps for her Patreon so she could, because she had to type in their name, say, hey, I talked to these people. This is somebody I counseled. So she puts in how long she did, and then they send her a check once a month. So I'm sure she was getting reimbursed for all of her Patreons, which is shady in the house and illegal. So anyway, Cash Gurn and grandmother, I'm very sorry for you being done the way you were done. It's very sad. I'm sorry for all the families that have been done the way they've been done. Well, thank you, Mr. Positive. I honestly go through life treating people the way that I want to be treated. I don't think I'm better than anybody. And I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. And I will give you the benefit of the doubt. But whenever I can't sit back and co-sign crap like what Taco's done and what MGL, there's no way I'm going to co-sign and ever be okay with that. Ever be okay with that. I mean, so, you get what you give out of life. I'm a firm believer in you get what you give out of life. If you do good, you get good. And I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I was raised by some wonderful parents, and I had morals and values instilled in me. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't stray from those morals and values when I was a teenager and in my early 20s. I'm not saying that I didn't stick my toe in the mud a couple of times, but Um, I learned my lessons the hard way, like I think most people do, but it sure wasn't because I wasn't taught to do it like that. I was taught not to do, you know. But I am personally proud of who I am at my age. I'm proud of where I'm at, and I'm you know, I just think it's so much easier to go through life being a good, honest person. So much easier than being somebody that's sneaky and wanting to, you know, look around, find some way to get over on somebody. So much easier just to be a, you know, humble and kind. Humble and kind. That's something that unfortunately MGL wouldn't know about. Yes, I am very sorry. Yeah, I hadn't even seen no Benny Keys. Did he go away? I mean, I don't subscribe to him and don't watch him, but Lord, he was a whole hot mess. That was a whole hot mess. Mom jeans. Thank you, Alexis. And she lied on Mr. P too. Oh, she sent me this long screenshot of Mr. Positive telling me that I can't even remember what it was about now, Mr. Positive, but I told him what she texted to me, and I told him what she had said. I think the reason she took his wrench or something, I can't remember what it was, but she lied on Mr. Positive. Mr. Positive, of all people, a man that does nothing but the sweetest thing you could ask for and greatest mod, and she wants to go and lie on him. She don't care. Oh, I'm sure she did. That lady with a fake Johnny Depp. I'm sure she did. First of all, that was that was a whole shame on her for continuing to take that lady's money and knowing that lady was going through. She should have turned that lady on to Dr. Phil and walked away. She was in over her head. She obviously didn't have the credentials to handle that, because hell, look how long it was going on after she knew about it. The lady was still sending him money. I mean, MGL, and I keep saying that, y'all, because she hates that. She hates that. But MGL should have turned her over to Dr. Phil or somebody that works on people that are being done like that, because she was in over her head. Oh, thank you, Miss Barbara Brunson. Hey, Christina Logan. Yeah, I don't get it. I feel sorry for Jake, because I really think that Jake's a good boy. Rhett's mom, yeah, chiming in. I think Jake is a good young man, and I think it's due to his dad that he's like that. And I just feel bad for Jake. I really do. I feel bad for him. You know, kids that age, especially the age he's at, they need a mother. They don't need a friend. You know, no matter what they say or how they act, they need structure. You know, they need structure. They need a mother. They need security, structure, and a mother. They've got plenty of friends. You know, she can be his friend whenever he becomes an adult. Right now, he needs a mom, a stable mom. Twin Thing, hello. I do too. And, you know, I think that Lady Michelle is probably right. She's probably going to be a lonely. I mean, look, it wouldn't be worth the chance to take if I was her. I mean, the least she should do is try to straighten her crap up. You know, first of all, think about the embarrassment, because whether she's intentionally stole the mascara from the PX or PQ or whatever it's called in Georgia when he was in the service, whether she intentionally stole it and it was accident, whatever, regardless, she still had to admit guilt and did community service. Could you imagine how embarrassing that was for Adrian? I mean, this has been going on. He's been being embarrassed by her for a long freaking time. That was like 20 something years ago. I mean, could you imagine how embarrassing it was on the barracks that his wife got, you know, banned from being able to go in any of them anywhere in the United States because of that tube of mascara? you know, I mean, regardless of it, of the situations, you know, history has a way of repeating itself. And then she didn't even tell him about New Orleans until she got home. She had went to court, did all of that. She didn't tell Adrian about that until she flew home. First of all, my husband would have killed me if I hadn't. He wouldn't have killed me, but he would have been the first one I called. But she didn't even call him. That says a whole lot to me that she didn't call him and tell him about it. So sounds like they keep a lot of stuff from each other. Yes, you're right. Yep, absolutely. Prison sentence with bars and chained up all day in solitary confinement. Yeah, somebody said that, you know, that day I went into her chat when she was talking about Tiffany Marie, and I went into her chat to try to, first of all, I was blocked. So the only way I could get a message is to super chat her ass. And that was the last thing I wanted to do, was throw another dollar her way. But that was the only way I could get a message, because I was blocked. But when I went in that day, as soon as she saw me, she turns around and she hollers, "Adrian, guess who's back? Barnyard." You know, that's what my old screen name. And because Adrian really liked me. She said he was really up. She told me several times he was really upset whenever, you know, we quit being friends. Well, I had told Tacos and K Smalls and them that I was going to actually reach out to Adrian, because, you know, I knew him. I had talked to him several times. We had planned on them coming down. We were going to go deep sea fishing. So we had talked, you know, and so I kind of had a little relationship with him. So I was going to go live. I mean, I was going to get in touch with him and talk to him, because at the time I felt like that something was off with her, you know, that she was spiraling out of control. I didn't know if it was menopause, what was going on, but I felt like, as a friend, I felt like I didn't want him to think that I was the kind of person that would just walk away from a friendship and just be done like that. You know, I don't know what her version of it, what happened was, but I can guarantee you she didn't tell him the truth. So I didn't want him thinking that I was a bad person. And I talked to another good friend of mine about the struggle about whether to do it or whether not to do it. And I put myself in Marissa's shoes and his shoes. If that had been the opposite way, I probably wouldn't have, he probably wouldn't have appreciated it to start with. And I also knew it would probably infuriate MGL that I did that, even though I was coming from a place of concern and love. Still, I just wanted to make sure, you know, I knew that we were done as far as being friends, but I wanted her to be okay. And I wanted him to know, I don't think she's okay. Something's wrong. Something's not right. But after talking to a good friend, we talked about it for quite a while. I thought, no, I'm not going to. So, you know, I knew she had told somebody. I had somebody come under one of my videos one day and said, "Hey, is it true that you borrowed money from her to pay your back taxes?" Question mark. But she did say that you paid her back. I was blindsided. I have never asked her for a penny. Hell, I gave her money in her Patreon. Never did I ask her to borrow a red penny. When I flew to Dallas, I paid for my own airline. I paid for everything. It wasn't, she didn't treat me. I paid for our meals. I treated all of us. I paid my way. I'm the one that helped get her. My cousin had the dog. I have never took anything from her, much less had to pay her sorry ass back. So I knew that if I did go behind her back and go to Adrian, even though it was from a place of love and concern, that it would piss her off. And I knew the lies that she had already made up and said, that there's no telling what she would do. Not that I care, because I don't like people telling lies on me, but you know, I know my truth, and I stand in it every day. So I didn't reach out to him. So whenever she hollers that, you know, I was like, oh my God. I was thinking to myself, you know, she's got, I don't know how many people's in chat. I'm thinking, I'm not back, bitch. I'm not back. I'm just here to try to like remind you that you knew about all this. You were not just finding out about Tiffany right now. I told you this months ago. So she sent me a message. And it was awfully funny. You know, she found me on Facebook and sent me a friend request. Well, before we really ended our friendship, she unfriended me on Facebook, but she didn't unfriend my husband or my brother, which I thought was funny. But don't you worry about that. They unfriended her. But anyway, so she messaged me through Messenger and said, let me see if I can pull it up. Welcome back, babe. Welcome back. Really? Bitch, if that's what back looks like to you, I'd hate for you to see my front. Yeah, he paid her taxes, exactly. And she would have been first of all, I wouldn't come to nobody on YouTube. If I needed to borrow money, I wouldn't come to nobody on YouTube. I would come to my family if I had. I mean, you know, first of all, the last few years I haven't owed any back taxes. I've actually got money back, so I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. But I couldn't believe it when that person put that in chat. I couldn't believe. I mean, I could believe it, but I was like, what is going on? But you know, she didn't have anything else to. I mean, she didn't have anything else to say about me, so all she had to do was, I guess, make up lies. And then, you know, when I broke my leg, how dismissive she was. I mean, there's a whole bunch of crap. She's not a good friend. I don't think she possesses the energy or the knowledge to be a friend. She doesn't know what being a true friend is. I'm telling you guys, it's all about what you can do for her and what she can get out of you. And if you can't do anything for her and she can't get anything out, you are useless to her. She puts a good front on. She acts like she's a good friend. I used to feel so bad. She would go live and she would say, oh, you, whenever all that happened with her other friends, you know, it wasn't just me. She's fell out with, you know, I had counted 16 different people that she had fell out with prior to my friendship. Alicia was the most current one before me. But, and, you know, I never had anything against Alicia. I've never had anything against, you know, anybody in this community. I had no reason not to like anybody in this community. But, you know, because I was friends with her and, you know, I was kind of held to her standard. But yeah, she could put a good front on, but she most definitely will use things. And then the things that she did on Alicia was just ridiculous. How she tried to make Alicia look. She should be ashamed of herself, you know. But she's not. She's not ashamed of herself because she does not think that she has done anything wrong. But I used to feel bad when she says, you can't trust anybody on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube, you can't, nobody's trustworthy. I used to think, golly, I'm going to show her that, you know, there are good, trustworthy people in this world. I'm going to show her. And I did try to show her that. I mean, I was that, but it was lost on her, completely lost on her. She didn't see it, didn't get it, because she doesn't possess. Hey, Lisa V. I know you debunked everything, girl. I know you did. And then some. But that just goes to show you she didn't have, you know, anything. She had to make up lies because, you know, but what I've spoke here today, my friends, has been the truth. I have not lied. I have spoke the truth. So, no, I don't think she does have a conscience. I think they took that out with her first weight loss surgery. When they did that lap band, I think her conscience was sucked out with it. Okay. Kenner, please. All right. Oh, easy. Good to see you. Thank you. Oh, that's okay, girl. You can be on the replay crew. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I just sitting over there listening to her talk about how innocent she is and how she hasn't done anything wrong. And she is, you know, transparent and she's got receipts. Bullshit. All the other receipts don't lie. And really and truthfully, even if she hadn't went live and said that, I was going to go live anyway, just because of those dang phone calls she made with those men and carrying herself like that. I mean, how can you two, I mean, I don't know. Isn't that like, can you have a channel and do stuff like that? I mean, I don't know. I had never read terms of service. Heck, I got first day when I got my page, my community, when I first got my community page, very first day I put a video up of my niece, and she's let me see, she was 8 in the picture, adorable. But I had bought them these big balloons. Not balloons, balls, and they were I'm trying to think of the name of them, but anyway, they were huge. And I bought her and her sister one. Well, she put them under her nightgown and walked, and I was cooking breakfast. I went and cooked breakfast for them, and she comes walking up, and she's got her hand on her hip, and she's walking, and she's got those balls under her nightgown, and she said, why is my back hurting? And I turned around, and it was so darn funny. That girl, she is a hot mess. I love that baby. And I said, girl, I don't know. I said, probably because those big boobs you got. And she's like rubbing her back, and that was it. That was the video. So I put that up, and they gave me a community strike or something. And I said, oh, crap. So anyway, I'm very weary of what I do. That was the first day I got my community post. So I obviously have not read the terms of service, so I don't know if you can do sex hotlines or not. I know that Trisha, the one that used to be married to ATX's husband, I don't know. Truthfully, Trish, I know she used to go online at night with that kind of thing, but it wasn't vulgar. Hers was just, hers was funny. It was funny to watch. She would call up. I don't know if it was the same kind of thing, but people didn't talk like they talked. And she did it at night. Well, I guess Marissa did too, technically. So yeah, right. She did. It was it was funny. I used to like watching that. Yeah, she needs to, man, wash that nasty head and take a bath. Girl, don't you know those big old boobs are, woo, don't you know those things are stinking? Come on, tell her, like Mallory said, Bombshell needed to wash between those tits when she didn't have no water. Woo. Us girls, we got crevices and stuff. We need to keep that stuff washed. Probably smells like sour milk. Hey, Winky Whispers, how are you? Sky Z. I don't know if you guys watch Mallory or not, but I'm here to tell you on Wednesday nights is that is the place to be. She does Saucy Psychic, and it is so, first of all, it's interesting and it's hilarious. Y'all, last week, Bombshell called in. Girl, boys and girls, it was hilarious. If y'all didn't watch it, you were to go watch it. Bombshell got over her mad spell, I guess, and called Mallory and wanted to know if she had a future on TikTok, wanted to know if she had a future on YouTube, even though she was called a scammer. And then it come out that she really did not lose her teeth in the pizza box. And you're going to have to watch the rest of it to find out what really happened to them. But anyway, I could not believe it. I was rolling. So, and then this week, Brother Gang Gang's mother called in. Benny Keys' mama called in. Brother Gang Gang had the mother called in. And that was a good one. So I tried calling in, but I couldn't get in. The lines were busy. But y'all should, she does it every Wednesday night. You should, it's really, really funny. Mallory is hilarious. Even if you are not a fan of Mallory's, this is a different kind of show. She has a call-in line, and it's really funny. But, and I like to laugh. So, yeah, right. Crazy Gemini. That was awesome. Alexis P. Yeah, everybody. And so, I went off, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I did another little live, and I went off on 2 tacos. Man, over the way she's done. Rest in peace, Sarah. That was just wrong in every way, how she handled it. And I just couldn't sit back. And so I went off and said lots of ugly words. Like I had my curse words going that day. But, today is really the first day that I have felt like kind of sort of normal. And I really didn't even know. I mean, I knew Sarah, but I wasn't close with her at all compared to the majority of people like Lanky Tor and Winky and all the people that, Trisha. I you know, nowhere near that. So I can only imagine how it's been for them, because it's been like utterly shock for me, you know. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you what, I don't know that she was a drug counselor, to be honest with you. I think if you somebody said they searched and they couldn't find, the only license you can find, I think, her cosmetology license. I don't think she was certified. I think she may have worked at a place like that, but I don't think that she was certified. I don't know. And I want to tell you, after the stunt they pulled with the hanging, I don't believe anything. I mean, if Bree had not been in the chat that day, I wouldn't have believed what she was saying the other day. I don't believe anything she says, and I doubt everything she's told me prior to that. You know, there's an old saying that it takes years to build trust, and, you know, 1 minute to break it. And it's so true, you know, it's so true. And it was so unnecessary, you know, and the reasons behind it was trying to pull German lady down. I mean, it was so unnecessary. And German lady really was kind to her compared to how when she drugged Science Girl. I mean, German lady didn't say anything that, if not to where it should have gotten her as upset as it did, to want to do what she did. And then the thing that pissed me off the most is how she tried to insult everyone's intelligence that from this community, you know, by doubling down. Bitch, don't pee on me and, you know, tell me it's raining or something. Don't do that. We heard you. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, she acts like she is a Billy badass. She wants everybody to think that she'll, you know, I've still got text messages where she was going to she was going to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and she's gonna beat the living crap out of MGL. She was going somewhere else and beating somebody else's ass. I can't remember who it was, but that was the biggest crock of bull. The only person that she knocked around, I think, was her wife, and they knocked each other around. But she would not even say your name if she had a problem with you. She would put these subliminal messages out there and allude to you, and you would know that it was probably you by the things that she was saying. So if you would go in and confront her, she would bow down. Oh no, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. She did Hello Starlight like that. She did Science Girl like that a lot. And it's not you I'm talking about. That's a coward and a pussy, if you ask me. If I've got a problem with you, I'm going to come to you first. Before I go to anybody else, you're going to hear it from me first. I'm going to say your name. And I would hope that you would say mine. Yeah, don't poke the bear. Well, I was told yesterday that she was done. She's done. She deleted her channel. She's done. She's not ever coming back. Well, I canceled her ass, just for the record. When I went live, I canceled her ass. I know she was canceled. But I think Steph and Trish, I think they had some very stern conversations with her, and was told that she's gone and she's not coming back. Hopefully she won't, under another name. I mean, she shouldn't have even come back around whenever this happened with Sarah. She should have let Sarah's daughter or somebody else break the news. You know what I mean? How dare her think that anybody would want to hear that from her? And then, but prior to that, you know, guys, she was going live under, I think it was Twin Flames was what her account was then. I would see it, and I was subscribed to it still because I couldn't remember the name. I had not unsubscribed, but she would do lives, and it was like this, coughing every second, saying that, giving people updates on how she's doing. And I'm being ugly when I say this. Who the hell cared? Who cared how she was doing? I mean, I didn't wish no harm on her, not want nothing bad to happen to her. But after what she did, nobody cared that she was quitting chemo. If that's what she wanted to do, that was fine. She could do it, but she didn't need to call here. But she could not make a darn live without coughing so much. It was ridiculous. But now when she was doing that the other day about Sarah, I didn't hear one cough. Matter of fact, her crying was as fake as the coughing was in the previous videos. And then all the innuendos that she laid out that Sarah wanted people to know. Get the hell out of here. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna have to change the subject. Woo, Lord, where's my lisinopril? I'm gonna have to take me a blood pressure pill. Start getting hot thinking about that crap. Hey, Miss Kathy, how are you doing? Orange butterfly. I bet you're pretty. I saw the biggest. I guess it was a butterfly. Yeah, it was a butterfly. It had a circle on it, and it was. I was going in the donut shop the other morning. My niece and nephews, when they started school, I treated them to donuts for breakfast. But it was the biggest butterfly. I took a picture of it. I'll post it on my community page. That was the biggest butterfly, and it had like a perfect circle, and it was beautiful. But it was kind of like a tan color. But I bet if it was orange butterfly, it would be pretty. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, when she did it. Oh yeah, crazy Gemini. And look, Sarah didn't know. She's in the throes of her addiction. She believed Taco's wife. She believed her that she was in the hospital. What kind of friend? I mean, she took advantage of Sarah. You don't do that if you are friends with somebody and you love them like she says she did. That's not how you treat them. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, she was obsessed with MGL too. Whenever MGL started getting close with Tiffany, oh my God, like she really, Taco started spinning in her taco sauce. I'm here to tell you, she did not like Tiffany Marie. She did not like Science Girl. And when MGL started talking back to Science Girl, woo, Lord, she had the taco sauce flying, honey. It was driving her crazy. She couldn't handle it. Now, I do think that her mother and her aunt did pass away from what she has. And I do kind of believe that she does have that. I don't know, though, but I do kind of believe it. I met her sister at the wedding, but I don't know the degree it is or why she's taking chemo, but I do know that she would have episodes with it, and she would go to the ER all the time. And I told her, I said, look, you need to go to a specialist that does nothing but that, which is rheumatoid. It has something to do with an autoimmune disease, I think. And I said, because all the ER is going to do is give you a steroid, maybe something for pain, and send you out until you follow up with your, regular physician. They're not going to fix you at it. I mean, and if her mom and her aunt both had died from that, you would think that would be, she would know that. And you would think if she was a drug counselor, she worked for the state, that she would have pretty good insurance. So she could go to a doctor instead of go to the ER. I'm just saying that was a little thing that was one of those 1 + 1 = 4 for me. Yeah, I did too. I felt bad for Sarah. I think that she was manipulated and snowblowed. I know from meeting him, Tacos was the kind of person that she wanted to feel like she was saved, like my brother, for instance. Lord. He had him a good wife for 30-something years. She gave him 4 of my beautiful nieces and nephews. And anywho, they divorced, and he remarried some little twat that is a pathological liar. Anyway, with nothing doing but to have her, and he's got her now. But I think that he gets off on it because he thinks that, I mean, she was a single mom. Her the children, hey, Pearls of Wisdom, her blank slate. I don't know if I said hey to you or Melanie, but hello, guys. But her husband, she was a single mom. The dad got killed when the kids were like 2 and 3, but she got a lot of money. She was drawing like $1,200 a month to take care of the kids. They got like $1 million. Something happened on equipment that he got hurt on, and she got paid out of that fund to take care of the kids. Plus, the kids drew a check every month, and then when they turned 18, they got what was left, which was still a lot. They got a big chunk, and then every year until they turned 21, they would, from 18 to 21, they would get it out in lump sums. So her drawing that kind of money and living in Mississippi, she should have had a home paid for, mobile home, or a home paid for with at least 1 acre of land and a vehicle paid for. But honey, she didn't have a pot to piss in or when to throw it out of. She was renting, writing checks she couldn't cash. Her car was refinanced so many times through one of those loan shark places. And anywho, my brother, I think it makes him feel good. I think he feels like he's saving her. You know, he's like, she's had it rough. She's had it rough. I said, yeah, I know. Our father had it rough growing up, guy. Our father had it rough growing up. He had it awful, man. He didn't feel like he was loved. Our grandmother got killed. His mom got killed when my dad was real little, drawing water out of in Arkansas, drawing water out of the creek. A bear killed her. I mean, it was tragic. My dad had a really, really rough childhood, and he still prevailed and chose to not let his situation define who he become. You know, he was a good man. So I told him, I said, a lot of people have it bad, but that doesn't mean that you can be a low life and use that as an excuse, because our daddy rose above it and he set the bar high. So there's no excuse. But anyway, I don't have to live with her. I don't have to sleep with her. So anywho, they remind me of each other though. Taco seems like she's the kind of person that wants to be in charge and be the one to make the rules, and she likes saving people that are desolate. You know, desolate. That's how she is. That's how her wife was. So I think she, Jana said it. Yes, ma'am. I think Remy, hey Remy, I think she took that vulnerability that Sarah had and ran with it. I was looking through some stuff on my tablet the other day, and she used to text all the time about Sarah. You know, whenever she would be intoxicated, she would text and say so and so. I'm not going to say what she called her, but I mean, that was just, I think the date on it was November and December of last year. So it wasn't that long ago. She was, you know, but now she was working her way. Listen, Mallory, she was working her way in. I think even then, you know, I think she was befriending Sarah. You know, I think she knew, very calculated with what she was doing. So that Lanky Tor said, yes, ma'am. So if Lanky Tor endorses it, then I must be telling it right. All right, guys. Golly, it's almost 11 o'clock. I was going to go to McDonald's and get me a thing of oatmeal and toast, but I guess I could go make it for myself. I have it in the kitchen. I just, you know, it's been raining ever since I got up. It's a good rainy day. Good old rainy day. And this has been weird. We have gotten rain like every day for the last couple of months. It may not be but a little shower here or there, but most days it's like torrential downpour. We have gotten some rain. So I've got to call the dog catcher. Our neighbor has a pit bull. I don't think it's full-blooded, but anyway, that little thing. So our fence between our homes here, you know, we're responsible for part of it and they're responsible. Well, their part is falling down. And I looked out there and I just bought my husband a $40 pair of flip-flops. And I'm just here to tell y'all, I normally don't spend, I want him to have good shoes. That's the only reason I spent that. And he loves wearing flip-flops, but I wear the $9, $10 pair from Walmart, but he works all day on his feet and I want him to have good shoes. So they were out. We have our back porch is screened in, and then we have another, we call it the swingtuary, where we have our barbecue pit and swing is covered and all that from that. So I just had something caught my attention. I looked out there and there the dog was, and he had one of my husband's brand new flip-flops in his mouth. And I ran out there and I got it out of his mouth, and he went back under the fence to his house or through the hole. Well, I started looking for the other flip-flop and I couldn't find it. And I said, you darn little devil. Now, we don't have a dog. My husband wants one, but we don't have one. We have a cat inside. So I go over to the neighbors and I knock on the door, and they are, you know, I don't care. They smoke pot. It smells like a skunk all the time because they sit out in their vehicles and they burn it down, and it's the skunk kind, and you can smell it. But when I walked over there, I had the one shoe in my hand, and I went over, and when I walked in front of their vehicles, I thought there was somebody. I could smell it so strong. I thought there was somebody in their vehicle, and I turned and there weren't. So I knocked on the front door, and they finally come to the door, and I said, hey, I need you to look in your backyard and see if you can find this other shoe. I just ran your dog out. I was still talking, and he's like pulling his pants up. And yeah, I'll be right there. So I walked as far as I could, and he opens the back door, and I guess the shoe was laying there, and he picked it up and come bring it to me. So my husband come home that evening and he said, next time I want you to tie that dog up and call the dog catcher. And I said, no, we live by these people. We need to, like, let's try to handle this with us. Let's go talk to them nicely first, give them a chance to rectify the situation before we involve the dog catchers and the cops and all that, because we got to live beside them. And, you know, I would appreciate them giving me the same. Well, so they didn't fix it when I told them. So when my husband come home, the dog was over in our yard again. And he went over there. He took pictures of it. And he went over, knocked on the door, and he said, look, y'all need to go fix your fence. The dog, here's the pictures. I just ran your dog. I'm going to have to call the dog catcher if you don't fix it. Well, when the dog come back over again later on because they didn't fix it, y'all, it was so sad. I don't know much about dogs, but my husband said that dog's been beat or hit because the dog has a long tail, but it was like all the way tucked up under his belly almost whenever we would get close to it. And he would stand there and he would sniff up in the air like he was trying to smell I assumed he was hungry. And I sure didn't want to feed him because he's already coming over here. We don't want him over here. And I said, well, if I feed him, he's going to always keep trying to come over here. I know, but I couldn't not feed him. So I felt so bad, but my husband said he's been hit or he wouldn't be doing his tail like that. I don't know anything about dogs, so I'm just going off of what he said. But anyway, and I didn't have any scraps because I had done cleaned the refrigerator out, but I got some of my cat food. I said, well, I'll see if he's hungry. So I got some dry cat food and a can of the wet food. And I went over on their side and stuck it through the fence, and he tore it up like he hadn't had anything. And it just breaks my heart. I mean, I can't keep going over there every day and feeding it. But I don't want it to go hungry at the same time. So anyway, my husband went and told them again last night. Well, they're fixed to it's like slats like you would see. I don't know how, there's like 2x8 boards, is what the fence is made up of. And so they go and get a door, an inside door. And instead of, and the holes are at the bottom of the fence, where they're missing, where it's got holes at. But they stand it straight up and down instead of over like 2 boards, instead of laying it down horizontally. So it would have covered. So anyway, needless to say, hey, Kim, oh my Lord, girl, I love you, miss you. I've missed you too. We got a lot of catching up to do. But I told my husband, I said, Lord, he said, look at how they did that door. So today, if the little doggy is in our yard, my husband's going to get it on a rope, and the dog catcher leaves at 3. So he doesn't, there's no way he can come get it. So we're going to have to call the police. And I hate doing that, but it is what it take care of your animal if you're going to have it. They used to have it tied up all the time, and it would bark and bark and bark and bark. Now they've got to where they, think that they can contain it, which they can't. But anywho, yeah, right. The water. Well, we have, look, the darn squirrels are so bad around here. Like my plants, we have it's called a bottle brush tree. And when it puts the blooms on, it looks like a bottle brush, but it's, hangs up there. Anyway, any kind of bloom. I planted a bunch of elephant ears and a bunch of bulbs last year. And as soon as those things would come up, those dang little squirrels would eat them. I have put cayenne pepper I've done everything I could. And my tomatoes, we have to cover them with darn netting, that shrimp net. You can't put just tomato cages over it. We have to cover the whole darn thing with net because those dang squirrels will eat our tomatoes. So, my husband has it's a BB gun, but it's a pistol, but it's a air gun. You pump it up. So anyway, I asked him, I said, can I use that? And he said, well, yeah, you could, but I really don't want you doing it. So I invested in a salt gun. Yes, I said it, $40. I could not believe it was $40 to put table salt in a gun that you pump up. But anywho, you got to be pretty good shot to hit a squirrel with that. And I'm not that good, but I tell you one thing, my husband's good at hitting my butt with it, and it will sting you. Of course, I have let it go off and hit him on accident too, but they're fun. We mainly use them on flies. If we can hit a fly, we sit out there, but you just put table salt in them, and they pack a good punch, but I'm not very good at aiming. You know what I mean? So, well, I think if we had, my mother-in-law was fussing, she said, I think I'm going to get a cat. I don't want an inside cat. I have my cats on the inside. She said, I don't want an inside cat, but I think I'm going to go to the pound and get one because I think it may keep them out of my yard so much, the squirrels, but there are so many. I mean, they just go from and look, they say that coons are nocturnal. We've got some brave raccoons around here. They come up in here broad daylight. I'll hear them on the back porch. Like, they will take the lid off of, I used to have an outside cat and an inside. The outside cat passed away, but the food I would keep out there in a dish, a container with a lid that would like go down on it hard. Those little turds would take the lid off and eat. I mean, they are smart little creatures, and they're not scared of us. They're not scared of us. I know when I was growing up, I remember we had one, and my dad used to shoot them and sell them to some black gentleman friends that he worked with. They like to eat the coon. He would have to leave one foot on them, but he would at night, or he would shoot, whenever the dogs would tree one, he would kill them and take them to the people, and they would cook them. I don't know. I've never ate coon, but I'm just telling you. But one time, one of the coons come down the tree, and it tied up with our dog, and our dog was pretty big, and that thing tore. It almost got the best of our dog. My dad had to shoot it to keep it from hurting. It was putting a number on the dog. It was slapping it around. So they can be mean, but I talked to these. I said, "You little turds, what are you doing?" I mean, they will. When I had my outside cat, his water bowl, those little shits would wash their paws. I've got video. They would get in there, wash their paws in his water, and before they would eat his food. So, I was having to change the water out all the time because they would wash their little nasty paws. They like their hands clean before they eat. And so it's just weird that we live in the city limits, and, you see it. I mean, I expect to see that in the country where I was from, but not here in the city. But I guess they're everywhere. What, coons or squirrels? Y'all, Miss Kim S. that you see here in chat, let me just tell you, that woman, she could have hit one of those squirrels, because she killed a freaking bear last year, her and her husband both. Matter of fact, she got one before he did, and it was a big one. So I know she is a crack shooter. Oh, yeah. What's a federal offense? Shooting a squirrel? Oh, okay, Remy, I'm gonna have to try that. I have to try that with the old red balls. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that. Yeah, I used to have a couple of bird feeders, but I realized that that was really drawing the squirrel, so I got rid of them. And my mom loves to feed the birds, but my dad would put 10. He would put 10 on the thing that the cage was. I mean, that the feeder was on, to keep the squirrels from climbing, being able to get up it, because they would go up and eat all of the bird feed. Well, Jane said it. Let me tell you, I lived in Salt Lake, and my husband and his daughter, which was my stepdaughter, we had lived in a 2-story home, and we had downstairs in our washroom was downstairs. So we had a dog door. We put a doggy door. He had a Jack Russell Terrier, and I wasn't raised with dogs in the house or cats in the house, but so I just it was hard for me to have a dog in the house. I just wasn't raised like that. So, but they wanted Lucy in the house, so Lucy was in the house. But we put the dog door downstairs in the washroom so she could come and go at her leisure. Well, I woke up one night, early one morning, and I thought my house was on fire. It smelled electrical. I woke my husband up. I'm like, "Do you smell that? Do you smell that?" And he's like, "What is that?" I said, "I think it's something smells like there's wires burning." So he jumps up and he starts going down the stairs, and Lord, that Jack Russell had killed a skunk, and had or what we think is the skunk actually come in the dog door and was maybe trying to get and didn't know, because Lucy would sleep in that room. Her bed was also down there. So let me tell you, you wouldn't. Oh my gosh, y'all! All I can tell you is stank wasn't the word. So anyway, somehow the smell. She was out there. He had to make her get away from it. She stunk. We closed the dog door so she could not come in, and I couldn't even go back to sleep. It stunk so bad. So I go into work the next morning. I carried a briefcase, and our daughter had her book bag. And now we all slept upstairs, and I'm sitting in my desk. I sit in my desk, and I have I had jobs that I would measure for, and I had installers that would do my job. So anyway, one of the girls I work with, come in my office, and she's like, we were always giving each other shit. And she's like, I smell a skunk. And I thought she was, no, I started telling her, I told her about what happened. And she said, I thought I smelled a skunk when I come in here. Well, I thought she was picking. I said, bitch, get out of here. Well, a few minutes later, one of my installers come in to ask me about one of the jobs I had put on the board. And as soon as he knelt down beside my desk, he said, damn, I smell a skunk. And I thought I was going to die. I knew then. I said, oh my God, are you kidding me? He said, hell no. What is that? Is that your new perfume? I said, hell no, it's not. Well, by that time, my phone rung, and it was our daughter. She was bawling, crying, come get me. Her book bag. That smell permeated through the basement of our house up to where our bags was at. Look, we had to get rid of her. I had to get a new briefcase. I had to get her a new book bag, my purses. It took forever. And it took a while to get that smell out of the house. And the dog, well, we watched it with the cocktail you read online. I can't remember. I wasn't really worried about the dog. I was worried about my house and my clothes and everything else. But it was awful. Woo! And it smelled like something burning. It was so strange. So I don't wish that on nobody. Yeah, that Pepe Le Pew perfume. Shit. Oh God. I couldn't believe how it went through the ceramic tile, through the granite countertop. I mean, my briefcase was on top of my granite countertop in the kitchen. I couldn't believe that. And it smelled like it too. It wasn't just my clothes my bag, my purse, everything smelled like it was awful. Okay, chicken lickers. That's what I call my nieces and nephews when we take pictures. I always say, smile, chicken lickers. But I'm going to get off of here. I thank you guys for coming in and supporting me and listening to me bitch again. I love you all. You all are great. And let's just remember to be humble and kind. And I'll see you guys in the streets.